If you want to read more about money and you're not quite sure where to start today, I'm sharing my 5 favorite books about money that you may not have heard before, but they made a huge impact for the better on our financial life. If you're new around here, welcome. I'm Lena. On this channel, you'll find money at home videos. The goal of this channel is to inspire you to reach for those financial goals while still doing the things that are important to you without spending all day on your budget. If you haven't already, please subscribe and ring that little notification bell. What is your favorite book on money? I am always looking for my next good read, and I'm excited to hear what unusual ones you guys have enjoyed. My first book recommendation is Millionaire by 30. This is the book that kind of started it all for us and started us thinking about money in a whole new way. Of course, this is the only one I don't have a physical copy of because we actually borrowed it from my dad, and my husband is an audiobook guy, so he listened to it. So this was the summer of 2019, and this is when we started thinking about money differently and thinking about what was possible for our lives. You might find the word millionaire in a lot of these book titles, and I want you to think like a YouTuber for a minute. So whatever's inside of the book, no one will buy it if it doesn't have that catchy title. So that's why millionaire is often in the title of these books, because it's a catchy term. It's something that people want to aspire to. It gets more clicks and more likes, and then people can benefit from the material. So try to look beyond the title when you're thinking about what is the value of this book or what is the context of this book, because a lot of that can be hidden under that title of millionaire. Remember that you start where you are. So this idea of millionaire by 30, if you are older than 30 like me, it's okay that you are not a millionaire yet. It's about taking steps now and moving forward, not about thinking like, well, it's too late for me. I'm older than 30 and the book says millionaire by 30. It's not about that. It's about using strategies to help you have that generational wealth. Next up is The Millionaire Fast Lane. This is so well written in a way that's easy to digest. The chapters are super short, so if you have 10 minutes of reading a day or less, you can still conquer this book, and you will learn so much about money and how people make money and what strategies they use and what kind of work makes what kind of money. I didn't read this one until recently, but I really wish that I would have read it 10 years ago. My life would probably look a lot different. You've probably heard of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I feel like this is the updated version, the longer version, the more practical version for everybody. This book also talks about solving problems. When you see a problem, when you're having a problem, if you can figure out a way to solve that for people, that can be a great source of income for you, whether that is a coaching, a tool, whatever it is. If you can solve a pain point for people, that can be a great source of income. Next up is The Psychology of Money. This is a must read. Of course, everything on this list is a must read in my mind, but if you don't have all the time for all the books, this is pretty easy to digest, and it talks about why we do what we do. This is definitely less dense and easier to read than The Millionaire Fast Lane, and you know that most of what we do is mental and psychology, and it's not necessarily about knowing the knowledge. Like, you can know that your credit card has a 29% interest rate and you know that that's bad, but why do we still carry a balance on our credit card? So this book can help you with things like that, why we do what we do. And that's not just like, if we knew the numbers, we would just do the right thing, right? But that's not how it works. And this book kind of unpacks that. Next up is Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. This is definitely an older book, so the language is a little bit different than what we're used to reading today, but this is about the underlying concepts of what makes people have money and some people not have money. Definitely a must read, but also go into it knowing that it's not going to read the same as a novel that you pick up that was written this year. The language is going to seem a little bit different. But this one is pretty short too. It's less than 300 pages. I guess that's my definition of short, is less than 300 pages. So a light read. If you haven't picked up on this already, my favorite pastime is reading books. I have a small part of my collection behind me in all of my videos. I actually have a really old YouTube video where I talk about my strategies for reading hard books. So if you are struggling to get through these books that you're like, this would be good for me, but it's long and it's hard, check out that old video and then you'll get to compare, like, have I gotten better at YouTube? I certainly hope so. I have definitely seen some improvement, but go check out that super old video. It's called How to Read Tricky Books, if you need some strategies about how to tackle these difficult books. That video also touches on what do you do when you're a mom and you want to read books and your kids need you every 30 seconds. How do you get through anything? It is possible to read books while you have kids if you want. And last but not least is The Millionaire Next Door. We read this book pretty early into our journey and it was just so interesting and fascinating to hear some of the statistics about wealth and all the people that you're living around. And it's just so interesting to think about how it's not as unusual as you might think to have amassed a good retirement for yourself and your family, and that wealth doesn't necessarily look as fancy as you think. The millionaire next door really could be driving an old Honda and wearing non-name brand clothes. This book is such an eye-opener. Definitely check this one out if you haven't already. There's lots of fun little tables in here about how people spend their money and what they spend it on specifically, and what kind of income brackets spend on different things. Thank you to one of my subscribers for suggesting this video. I always love sharing about my book collection any day. If you haven't already, share what one of the books that you have read that has made an impact on your financial life. I'm always looking for the next good read. If this video was valuable to you, be sure to give it a like and subscribe for more. I hope to see you in the next one real soon. Bye for now.